Hello, and welcome to episode 123 of the Epic Fail podcast. That's right, I'm back. But before we get started, just want to give a quick shout out to those that have helped us fail along the way. That's right, our epic fail, Craig, our deliberate fails, Joseph, Cuddles, Mickey, David, Flashgoth, and our Twitch subscribers, Draven, Jamie Joy, Galvanid, and myself. Thank you so much for allowing us to fail.
Warning, this show may contain mature language and is not suitable for small children, pets, or blood elves.
You're now listening to the Epic Fail podcast.
Greetings! Welcome to Epic Fail 123. I want to give a special thank you to Theory for pre-recording that because he's yet again not. I'm kidding. For the in-joke is, Theory, since you may or may not know, I've been taking an older version of you saying that and clipping out what episode number it is so that it still sounded like you were here because it sounds better than me doing it.
Then I'll make sure that I change it every week, so that'll be harder for you to do in the future.
Okay. Yeah. So, anyway, I am Draven Dresden, as you probably know by now. With me, as always, mostly, I got my two cohorts, co-conductors, victims, kidnappees, however you want to look at it. Up first, from the land of story time, we have Scarlett. How are you doing? What have you been up to? And I heard you have something new to say this week.
I do. It's a little scary, sort of. Be prepared.
You met Pennywise.
No. Also, I can't watch that movie. I will die of fright. I'm good. Little frazzled. In the last 48 hours, I have come to the realization I need to quit my job, got a new job offer, bought a plane ticket, and I'm going to be moving across the country in 45 days or 48 days, whatever, 40-something days. So, there's that. Game-wise, it's been pretty tame. I've been trying to rank up in Overwatch. That's not going so good. I should really just give up on ranking, but I have, I guess, a sense of self-punishment. I don't know. So my ranking keeps going up and then down and then up a little bit and then down. So it's whatever. Either I'm a bad player or today I was in 4 games. 3 out of the 4 games had trolls and 1 had a lever. So I don't know what to do. I don't think it's me specifically, but who knows. Anyways, I did not get any mounts this week. Although I haven't done my mount runs. So maybe that'll change. I see Draven pointing fingers at me. He will have to explain what that means after.
No, those were gang signs. Definitely gang signs.
Draven's in a gang. What else? Did some raiding. Yeah, that's about it. It was an average week game-wise for me. It was a crazy week otherwise. But what about you or Theory?
Well, I don't know, Theory. Are you actually here this week?
Yes, I am here. Hello, all. Although,
Theory!
It's been an interesting month and a half or something. So yeah, there was this thing called Irma. Notice it says Armageddon on the bottom of my screen. Armageddon is definitely what I will call it. I was very lucky and thankful. However, I did not have power for over a week, and I did not have internet for 3 days longer, which really, truly sucked, the internet part especially. And the funny thing is that I've come to realize how much we depend on our cell phones, even more than I already knew, given the fact that I work for a company that makes cell phones. Because when the towers are down and you have no power and you have no internet, it's
Life
a lot
gets boring.
worse. Yes, because you can't do anything on your phone either. If the internet's working, whatever, I can just pull it up on my phone. Might be a little slow, but whatever, I can still see it. I can still communicate. No, not when those towers are a pain in the ass. It was so funny because with work we had a bunch of group chats, and I gotta give it up to the people that I work with. It was everyone helped everyone. It was amazing, but so I don't get buried in that. Because of the way the cell phone towers were for the first few days after the storm, I wouldn't get any texts for like 5-6 hours, and then I would get like 40 texts at the same time. They would all just bam hit my phone, and then I'd have no battery left because it would keep just going off, which was funny. No, it was really frustrating. But long story short, I had to fix my fence because a few panels came off in the storm. I have a privacy fence, luckily, because of the dogs. Makes it a lot easier to walk them, except for when they're not there. So I had to put a few panels back up. They didn't leave my yard, but they did leave the fence line. Had a whole bunch of branches that all decided to fall on our vehicles. Most of them were little. One of them was a little larger to replace a windshield. I got a few dents on my Mustang. I'm totally pissed about that because I don't know if you guys know, but I just got that like 6 months ago. So not happy about the Mustang being dented. But like I said, I'm thankful. Could have been a lot worse. I've got friends and people that I know that had to deal with it a lot more. One of my friends literally just got her car like 2 months ago and it got totaled because a tree fell on it. So,
Ouch.
yeah, she has had to replace a car 3 times so far this year, and none of them have been her fault. So I kind of feel bad for her. But other than that, from a game standpoint, I've played where I could, but it's kind of funny because even past the storm, you guys remember I kind of started a different role in my job, and it's affected my time. So now I'm a 8 to 5er, which makes late nights like our raid nights and our podcast nights a little bit more difficult because before my schedule would change quite a bit. Now on raid nights and podcast nights, if I work the next day, I'm getting about 3 hours of sleep. I can do 5. 5's okay. 3's not fun. So yeah, I'm adjusting a little bit to that. But all in all, the raid teams have been pretty cool about it, and it's been all right. We're working on KJ now for the fire department. I'm thinking we'll probably have that down in a week or so, as long as we can beat the attendance boss. What else is going on? Played a little bit of Overwatch when I could. Still loving Overwatch. It's fun. There's not enough time in the day. I'm usually on WoW. And actually, for the few days that we didn't have internet, I dusted off the console and was playing some old like Madden and stuff from like 5 years ago, which was pretty funny.
I was gonna say when your power was out, did you learn how to play cards all over again?
No, no cards. But we did go for drives. So I live in Southwest Florida. So for example, today in Southwest Florida, it was a gray and gloomy day with pretty much no sunshine, and it was still 95 degrees. So having no power down here, the very worst part about it is the fact that you have no AC. The second worst part about it is no internet. So what we did is whenever we would get a little stir crazy, my wife and I, we would jump in the car and go for a drive. Because, hey, we can charge our phones, we got AC, we can look around, which is really bad, especially right after the storm, because there's crap everywhere, and you really shouldn't be driving. But that's pretty much what we did. But after the storm, I mean, there's a lot of cleanup. Again, I can't say enough about the people that I work with. They really kind of pulled together and made sure everybody was all right. People were staying with other people. People helped each other put up their shutters and take down their shutters and helped them clean up their yards and everything. It was pretty amazing. So I definitely thank them. Luckily, I didn't really have anything I was, where I really needed a whole lot of help. But I got to witness a lot of other people doing some amazing things. So it was pretty neat. But all in all, Draven, how was your week?
Well, I will make up for Scarlet first and foremost and say I got 6 mounts this week.
How was your gang signs?
That was yeah.
Yeah, that was me doing this while she's talking. I got 6 because I got exalted with that one Argus rep, and they sell 6 mounts, so I got 6. I got 2 pets out of eggs, so I've got those. I don't know what artifact level I'm at, but I've been playing pretty much my paladin, and that's really about it. Logging in every day on all of them, doing a couple things here and there, but mostly just my paladin, and then my daily go through my order halls and taking care of daily maintenance crap. And then a ton of Overwatch, to the point where Reaper was my number 1 played hero by like 5 hours. And currently, Junkrat is 12 hours more than Reaper at the moment. So I've been playing...
That's a lot of Junkrat.
That's a lot of Junkrat. I've been having a ton of fun with him. And I'm seeing play of the game pop up with me as Junkrat. He's got that giant AoE kill everything in sight thing, so that helps get play of the game. But not all of them have been that. I did have a 4 kill, a 5 kill... Almost had a team wipe, but D.Va was in her mech, so it didn't count. And then a little bit of heroes, mostly just clearing out the dailies, waiting for Junkrat, not opening any of the boxes I've got. I really want to open them because they're there, but I'm like...
You should just open them.
But I could get Junkrat for free.
The loot boxes are for Overwatch. The inside
Heroes.
Oh, sorry.
Heroes.
I was thinking Overwatch.
Yeah, in Overwatch I just open them. But yeah, over in Heroes I have I think 13 boxes at the moment just sitting there like open me, and I'm like, no, you will wait. And I haven't even bought Anna yet, just because I know I'm not going to play her, and I don't like her from what I did on the PTR. And so as soon as she goes down to 10K, which should be Tuesday, maybe next Tuesday, probably this Tuesday, I will get her then because it's 10K. No big deal. I mentioned it last week, but Theory, you weren't around, so you don't know. I have played another game. It's SWTOR. A little bit. Not a lot.
I used to play it a long time ago.
Yeah, it's I'm doing it mostly for story, but once you get to a certain level, they're like, if you give us money, we'll let you have normal XP again. Yeah. I'm like,
no,
log out, and I haven't logged back in since.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I was like, if you're gonna do that no. I understand you want to make money, but you don't do that. But
yeah, I had the limited edition of that when it came out, like the $200 box. I played it for a month.
Money well spent.
Don't think my wife would agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Star Wars in general. So pretty much anything Star Wars related I want to like. But I tried Galaxies and returned it within an hour.
When did you try it?
When it was fairly new. I also bought the crazy expensive deluxe box edition, and my computer hated it, and I could log in and do basically nothing and look around, and there was 2 people there and they weren't doing anything. So I was like, yep, this isn't for me. Uninstalled and brought it back. And I think it was when it was fairly new. So I mean, it changed a lot after that, but
yeah. Well, a lot of people were thinking, like, I forget when it was, there was one change that made it holy crap amazing, and then they changed everything, and they were like, yeah, we're done.
Yep.
Is that the one they accidentally destroyed by changing things? I know there was some kind of game like that.
Yeah. I've done that a couple times.
That's true.
Probably.
Yeah,
I don't know if
Battlefront.
it was an accident, but
Alessandra's talking about Battlefront 2, and that's actually something that looks very, very tempting. And now that I've ventured back into consoles a little, I may try Battlefront 2 for Star Wars. It looks amazing. I can say that, but no, I haven't played it yet. But we're tangenting a little bit on our non-Blizzard stuff. What other Blizzard
It wasn't
stuff you
me
got this
okay.
week?
today.
It is
It wasn't
okay.
me today.
It's okay to tangent off a little bit when you are going to be like, I really like this other stuff, and to prove it, I have played all this other stuff too,
Yeah,
and this is still where I keep coming back.
sure. For sure. I mean, I still spend the majority of my time on WoW, and to be perfectly honest, the time without power and without internet was kind of a nice little break. Although when I was able to play again, I didn't know what I wanted to play. I'm like having that alt-itis point where it's like, I don't really want to play any of these characters. But I already... Thank you for the follow. I already have all of them, except for the priest, at 110. So I don't want to play any of them. So pretty much I'm playing for dailies and then raids, and that's it. Which is not good because it's dungeon week and I should have done mythics tomorrow.
Yeah, but let's say you still got time.
Oh,
For
I
this.
haven't done those. You know what? We should just do 4 Mauve Souls really fast tomorrow.
So the reason I don't agree with you, because that's actually a strategy. If you have a limited amount of time, it's a very good way to do it. But there is a good reason not to do it that way, and that is because if you don't do 4 Mob Souls, you increase your legendary drop chances, and you also increase your
That's
chances for something crazy Titan Forge to drop too. Granted, both of them are small chances, but the last time that we had Dungeon Week, I saw 2 legendaries drop in the dungeons that I did, so I don't really want to do Mob 4 times if I can help it. But if you're on time
Makes
crunch,
sense.
if you're on time crunch, Ma 0 times 4 is the way to do it.
I signed up for a group Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, I forget which. I think Tuesday, and it was just a random in-game, the little group finder thingy, and it said Maw Souls. I joined it, and we cleared it in like 6 minutes.
Oh, it's fast.
And they're like,
yeah.
yeah, and
It's
they were
super
like,
fast.
they saw my gear and they saw my numbers, and they're like, do you want to just run this again 3 times real quick? And I was like, yeah, sure. I got other things I want to do. I knew that I wouldn't get loot. I knew I wouldn't get more artifact power, etc. And I was just like, I just want to get it done. And then I got a relic, I think, that I couldn't use because it was lower than what I had. And then I plugged it into the because it was I put it in the Crucible. And none of the stats on it anywhere were any good. It was like the worst possible combination I could have gotten. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna vendor that, and I was like, oh well, maybe next time.
Even if you don't get the right perks on your Crucible, you still increase the item level of the relic, which increases the item level of your weapon, which means you do more damage.
But it was already a lower level than what I had equipped.
Oh, well,
Like
then,
I have like a 915 equipped,
yeah, that's not worth it. Then.
and it came up as a 910, and then on top of that, it had crap main stat bonus thing on it, and then the Crucible pieces. Yeah, there is that 5 upgrade, which puts it on possible even playing field, but the tree was just garbage. I'm like, vendor.
So somebody was saying this week was the week to go for high mythic pluses, especially if you haven't gotten your 15 achievement yet, because they said
did hear that.
oh, there it is. So it's Sanguine, Volcanic, and Fortified. Sanguine's really a tank thing,
So it's honestly just keep the mobs moving, right? Because
and let your Sanguine drop.
More or less.
yeah,
Oh no, Sanguine's pools. I was thinking the
Sanguine's
other
pools and Volcanic is like thing on
Yeah.
your feet. So just you pretty much it's just
keep
play hot
moving.
potato with your feet. Yeah.
one. Yeah, and everything has more life. So actually, this would be a really good week to try to push a higher one. I may have to do that possibly this weekend.
I really want the plus 15 skin, but I don't want to do the plus 15, and I don't want to carry either. I want to earn it, so I gotta buck up and do it. But I don't
Just
want to.
all you
Well,
need to
if
do is look for a MAW 15.
That's true. But do you know how hard those are to get into?
Yeah, because everyone wants it.
Exactly.
But the,
What I will
the tanks are
say-
the desirable one, though.
Yeah.
That's
What I
true.
will say about it, though, you have until probably the patch right before Legion ends to do that 15 or you won't get that skin. And we'll talk more about that later, and we've already been going on, so we should probably get into the actual Blizzard news
We
part
should
and
actually
not
talk about stuff
straight-
and things.
and not go straight to the
Yeah.
WoW stuff, because we like doing that at the end, because that means everyone has to stay.
The reason he does that at the end is so that we don't go back to WoW after we've talked about other stuff. If you haven't figured that out yet, that's why he wants to do it at the end. But anyway, here we go.
This is the Blizzard news you can use.
So, remember that time we talked about Christy Golden and how it'd be really cool if she kind of took over the time, that what's his name that we really liked did when he was making cool stories and stuff about how all the games were and all that kind of good stuff?
I don't know. Does what's his name actually mean Chris Metzen?
Yes, that's his name of what I was speaking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I vaguely remember that one. Why
Well,
do you ask?
They actually hired her like permanently now.
I like your guys' comedic timing. It's adorable.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what it is you speak of. None.
I am not reading this off of our notes right now. I don't know what you are talking about, Scarlet.
So
A boot.
technically, Michael, no, she didn't take Metzen's spot. Michael just asked if she did. But
We don't know that actually.
being the fact that she is the writer for many of the books that happen to come out to take the storyline from expansion A to expansion B, that's kind of what she does. Just before they told her what to write, and now we're speculating that maybe she just does it the way she wants.
Yeah, we don't know what her job title is. Metzen was in charge of story, which is a different job than the one that Ian is currently doing. So it is possible she has his job,
This is possible.
at least in terms of WoW. So
Now,
That should be.
she did make a few other comments on her Twitter page about other books for other IPs that she was still able to work on, and said that future books for other IPs are on a case-by-case basis. So she's not totally not writing other books. So if you just happen to be a huge Christy Golden fan, don't worry. She's still writing other books too. VD. What? Okay, we're just going to let that one go.
Des, you're amazing. I love it.
That was
You're hysterical.
that was interesting. So, talking about not VD, they released the schedule for BlizzCon. This is day one on November 3rd, an opening ceremony there. Did you guys see anything on the old schedule that looked like stuff that you cannot miss?
On the old schedule?
I said the old. I was trying to speak like old English style and stuff. I know it doesn't work very well.
Oh. I'm always most excited for two things. The opening ceremony and then the World of Warcraft What's Next, but also the costume contest. That is my favorite thing ever.
Okay, so it looks like they have the Arena Championship going pretty much the whole time for WoW for the first morning part. There's also a bunch of Heroes Esports going for the whole first morning. And it looks like it's happening at the same time. There's StarCraft Global Finals going on. And there's, well, holy crap. So if you are an esports fan, you have to choose. Choose wisely.
It was that way last year.
That's, I guess if it's quarterfinals, it's whatever. But I hope they at least stagger out the finals a little bit. What else?
There's too many finals for them to stagger.
So I'm gonna say something. Do you notice that the very first thing after opening ceremony, after a short break, is on the main stage? What's next for World of Warcraft? So
Yep.
they pretty much almost already said that that's what is going to be announced, is whatever is next. But everyone speculated it was an expansion, so I'm pretty much saying it's a new expansion.
while they have not officially stated expansion, unless they get rid of expansions, it's a freaking expansion.
Yeah.
Simply because they can't wait until freaking Gamescom to do the expansion unless it's like, oh, by the way, next week. No, that would be stupid because you don't get pre-orders that way.
Right. All right, so that was the morning on Friday. Here's the evening on Friday. The community night thing is interesting. What is the community night? That's like 3 hours on Friday night. Any idea what community night is?
I have no idea what they're planning on doing.
that's
It's probably
interesting.
them just kind of hanging out or
Wouldn't
something.
that be the costume contest
Yeah,
and the
maybe.
art contest? I think they just named it something different, but that should be because you don't see that anywhere else.
That's
in
true.
The,
I think
in
you're
the
right,
list.
but they probably should have made that a little bit more clear.
I just noticed something though.
What did you notice?
Geek and Sundry is being featured.
Oh yeah, so is Allcraft, which is Asmongold, and I cannot remember the esport announcer guy, and Hotted, and someone else. They usually have like a guest. They have a pretty popular World of Warcraft podcast now. They are being featured. There's a bunch of community people that are being featured this time in more of a specific way. Draven, you need to send an email, call somebody. Anyway.
They want popular people.
No, they don't. All right, so Saturday morning, it looks like they're starting off with a lot of the sound. Like there's the sound of BlizzCon cinematics, which is kind of cool, which is on the Legendary stage, first thing in the morning. So while everyone is drunk, they can come in and learn about crazy cool sounds, or hungover. That'll be interesting. And then you can see the Overwatch finals start at 12 on Saturday. But they still have bracket stages going on in both WoW and in Heroes while the Overwatch finals start. This is the reason why I if I did go, which I'm still kicking myself in the butt for another reason that we're going to talk about in a few minutes for not going this year, but I would have a hard time really buying into the esports stuff because it's all overlapping so much. How do you decide? I want to see all the finals.
You go with, like in your case, Theory, you don't really care for Heroes, so you probably would skip that. You don't care really about StarCraft, so you'd skip that. So that leaves Overwatch and WoW.
I would want to watch the Heroes final.
Yeah.
Not the preliminaries or the quarters, but I would definitely want to watch the final. All right.
Well, a lot of times, some of the really good matches are the semifinals. Like last year, there was the Fnatic upset of MVP Black, and then Fnatic ended up losing in the next round, but no one cared because they beat MVP Black, and that's all anyone cared.
Yeah.
It was like, they didn't win. That's all we care.
I want to see them bring some of the Mythic Dungeon Invitational guys next year to BlizzCon because that was pretty freaking cool. But
That would be cool.
I don't know where they would have room for it unless
they need another room. Build another room.
Well, I mean, unless they got rid of StarCraft.
They're not going to get rid of StarCraft.
No.
I mean,
all right.
I don't think they would either, but at this point, you never know.
Saturday afternoon, finals still going. Then there's the StarCraft World Championship starting at 4. Heroes grand final starts a little bit after that, about 4:30. So you can see stuff kind of wrapping up there. And then there's a Q&A. So if you want to see Red Shirt Guy, 4 o'clock on the Mythic stage, you'll probably see him there, which is cool. By the way, if you haven't watched it, there's a YouTube video which shows all of his questions from the past however many years, and it's hysterical. Really good, worth watching.
That's awesome.
Just look up Red Shirt Guy questions. It'll come right up. And then the end of the night, you can see that the Heroes 1 Grand Final is actually slated to continue on during the closing ceremony, which is, again, I would want to be in both places at the same time. But then during that closing ceremony, they announced this week part of the reason why I'm kicking myself in the ass for not going this year, and that is Muse. Muse is playing. God damn it. I'm not going to say all the other words I want to say because I don't want to make Draven have to edit everything. But, damn. So
Beep,
now,
beep, 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 beep.
The 2 times I've come the closest to going to BlizzCon and then not being able to go for whatever reason, there have been bands that I really like that played the closing ceremony. I really wish they would announce who it is before the tickets go on sale. Blizzard, you're killing me. But anyway, that's my own depression.
Maybe that would deter some people. Like if last year I had the opportunity to go and then they announced Weird Al was playing, that probably would have broke my decision to go. Because I
honestly feel like, yeah, I remember Draven, she didn't like Weird Al. I honestly feel like that
No, I get that.
the amount of people who wouldn't go because of the band would be totally countered by the amount of people who definitely would go because of the band, especially if you look at the caliber of bands that they've had.
Des wants the Bay City Rollers tribute band. I am totally
I don't even know who
agreeing
that
with
is.
that. That would be amazing.
I don't know who that is, but I don't understand. Like, I get this band is playing, I must go. I understand that process, but I'm not gonna go because Weird Al's playing or Linkin Park or whoever. It doesn't matter. I don't get that because you don't have to go to the closing ceremonies. You can stay in the heroes section the entire time, or you can, while everyone else is at the concert, you can get in line for whatever that game that you didn't want to wait 3 hours in line for. You can go then because there's less of a line.
But it's
not
still
going because of a
still
band.
might skew. It would skew my decision a bit.
I just don't understand that thought process. Is all. That's all. That's what that look was. It was like,
It's basically, to me, a cost versus appreciation balance.
Yeah, but you're talking about basically 2 hours of a 2-day event that you
Yeah,
could be doing
I'm
other stuff
looking-
for.
I'm
But-
looking at it as I'm paying $200 to go to this thing. The fact that this band is here is a
It's
bonus.
not the ticket cost; it's all the other stuff cost. Because coming from the east of Canada, flying to the west coast, southern USA,
Oh yeah, I
that's
get that.
that's plus when you pack all the other stuff in, that's the whole what I'm trying
Yeah,
to weigh
well,
in. And then
okay,
you
I
go
wasn't-
and you're disappointed by half of the evening. Nah.
Well, the thing that I would say, Scarlett, of all the people that they've had play there, there's not one band that I would have not gone for. And there's at least 2 bands, really 3 bands, that I would have wanted to go even more if I'd have known ahead of time who was playing before the tickets went on sale.
Fair
Yeah,
enough, and I could
I
be in the minority opinion.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the year I was able to actually go, I didn't go to the closing ceremonies because I don't care about Linkin Park, and apparently they put on a really good show.
So this is the
You
second time you
should
said
have
Linkin
gone.
Park, so now I have to say something. So first off, let me say that I got a little bit older this week. And on that day, it was a really crappy day because a bunch of crappy stuff happened, including another music legend dying. God damn it. See how I'm doing? I'm keeping it relatively clean, but it's not clean, just for you, Draven. But come to find out, if you happen to be a Linkin Park fan / Chester fan, they did an episode of Carpool Karaoke, which was supposed to be an exclusive thing for Apple Music, literally weeks before he killed himself.
Oh wow.
And because of that, they didn't release it out of good taste because they were worried about releasing it right after he died because they didn't want to, make money off of him dying, which totally awesome. All right. But what they did is they gave that video / movie / TV show, whatever you want to call it, it's really a TV show, to the band, and the band is releasing it for free on Facebook.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I'm blown away by it, but it's freaking amazing. But I'm a little tired of all the craziness. Now Ralphie May just died too. What the hell is going on? Everybody's dying.
Who's Ralphie?
You don't know who Oh, he's an amazing comedian. Very, very funny.
Comedian.
Big dude. Yeah.
But yeah, at this point, it's like 2015 was like, beat that. 2016 was like, I got this. 2017,
Hold my beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it's turning into. It's like,
I just think everybody should go on vacation until the end of the year. Nobody do
I'm okay
anything.
with
Just
that.
go on vacation until the end of the year. We'll start fresh. 2018. We don't need to do
Let's
anything
do
else.
it. Let's go
Yeah.
rent an island somewhere where there's no hurricanes.
It's craziness. But I wasn't gonna say anything, but you said Linkin Park twice, so I had to.
Well, I mean, that was the band that was there that year, so
So moving on. Apparently, Blizzard wants to do stuff in your BattleNet because they want more battle inside their net or something. What's going on, Dravid?
well, the launcher that we have, if you go into the settings, I haven't really messed with it all that much, but you can basically download this beta thing, and it's got all kinds of new stuff like groups, which is kind of like clans or guilds or whatever. You can set it up.
It's not. It's like your groups in Discord.
Yeah, they're basically adding Discord into BattleNet, and they're adding an offline mode, which isn't fully functional yet.
Well, it can't be fully functional. It's just an offline mode for BattleNet. It's not an offline mode for all of your friends list in the game.
Yeah, it shows you as offline, and if you show up in game and someone has your character and that kind of thing, like for WoW or whatever, then you're gonna see it. But it's just one of those things where it's not entirely functional. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So they're still working on it.
Well, that could be why it's still in beta.
Yeah, it's a beta, but this is 100% Blizzard trying to get rid of Twitch, the app, and Discord app and stuff like that. There's no if, ands, or buts. They added emojis so you can talk to your friends with using emojis, because who doesn't use them at this point? For the most part.
I don't actually agree with them trying to get rid of, but I think
I
it
don't mean
has a
get
lot.
rid of. It's more of be a viable competitor and do something better than.
They got a
But-
little ways to go to get better than, but I'm with you.
It also ties into the Android. Well, actually, I think it's iPhone as well. The Messenger app for your phone.
Yeah,
you
that
can get.
one's a little weird though, because that one, like, they should have just released the BattleNet app for phones.
I think the basically the friends list chat app thing is literally going to be just oh, you play this game too? What is it? I'll add you right now.
But you could
That's
already
the only-
do that in the Armory app.
I don't have the Armory app. So
Well,
I
the
couldn't
Armory
find it.
app, since you don't have it, has a chat ability. It is not like Discord though. It is literally you can talk in your guild chat.
Oh, is that where that's at?
Yes.
Because I keep seeing people like on their phone or whatever. I'm like, I went looking. I was like, I don't have that. So okay.
Wait, the one that's been around for years?
Sorry, I'm trying to cough my head off. Yeah, it's the one that's been around for years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
Okay.
has chat ability. It has
Yeah, I know.
the ability to add friends. It has quite a bit actually of things that you can do in it. You can still make auctions. You can buy and sell stuff. You can do all kinds of stuff. They limit how many you can do to a couple hundred or something like that. So you can't just totally just make a crap ton of money on your phone just because you can. But literally that minus the Discord part of the chat, you could already do that in the regular Armory app. It's just nobody really uses it anymore.
I use it for
Oh.
auctions.
Yeah,
I
some
find
people
it
still do.
easier than trying to go back and find an auction house.
Well, this is my thing about this. Like, okay, so you already had the Armory app, and then you had the Legion Companion app, and then now you add a third chat app. These should all be the same app. That's a very
There's 5 Blizzard apps. There's Authenticator, the chat app, Hearthstone, the Legion, and the original WoW.
So
app.
I don't know if you saw, but when you held that up, I was squinting really hard because your icons are like microscopic, and I can't tell what the picture is in your
Yes.
background. But anyway,
The background is the Cheshire Cat.
well, that's the fourth app. What about your Authenticator? Put all
I
these
have
into
the
the.
Authenticator in there. I have
I'm
5
saying.
apps. There's 5 apps.
I'm saying, put them all in one. You don't need 5 apps. Make them be one app that can do everything. It's silly to have 5 when you can have one that does everything.
Alessander says there's
I
a
have
StarCraft app.
There you go. There's another one. Put it in there.
That's
I
awesome.
have one app, and that is the other one they just put out, the friends list, and that's it.
Yeah.
Just on the off chance I run into someone I happen to have like a Blizzard shirt on. Oh, you play that game? Yeah, I play that game. I even do a podcast about it. Oh, let me add you. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but you could do that in the other one. I mean, I that's my whole thing. It makes sense. I understand it. They just need to have a BattleNet app for both Droid and everyone, iPhone, whatever, and have it do everything for all of their games instead of having 6 different apps. Come on, Blizz. It'd take like 2 programmers to do that. Just put them together. All right. Enough of a rant there. So the next thing that we were going to talk about is some stuff that is a lot of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to show this video of this stuff and then talk about it as the video's playing. So bear with me one sec while I set this up.
It's pretty hot. It's pretty hot stuff, let me tell you.
Pretty hot stuff? Wow. So I will not be going to your favorite adult site for this. No, I will be pulling up a video about the future of HOTS. And hopefully it won't play automatically. There we go. Awesome. Give me 1 second. Almost there. Getting there. Draven, this is usually where you talk, so that way I can do stuff.
Okay, I am talking, and there is stuff, and Theory is messing with stuff so he can set everything up, and
that's it. Yep, keep going. Almost there.
Yay! Almost
I
there.
liked my "That's What She Said" better than the stuff.
That was talking.
The
That was good.
stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna play this video, and we're not gonna listen to it. No sound. But this is some in development stuff coming up for HOTS, and there's a Junkrat.
I'm not waiting for him. I'm buying him day one, 15,000 gold. He's got some interesting skin variants.
Yeah.
There's the little. It's called Fallen, but it looks like a little demon goblin type thing. Not a WoW goblin, but a actual. What I picture an actual goblin would look like, horns and all that fun stuff. But there's a lot. It's Halloween themed.
Yeah.
So
Some of these are really cool.
Who is those? Who are those?
Greymane.
Are those
That's Greymane, yeah.
Both of them.
Oh,
He's got a human and wolf.
gotcha.
And who's the Vampire Slayer though? Who's that?
Vampire Slayer V is Valera, and I love that they did this because
The
I'm a
swords are
big
cool.
fan of the old anime Vampire Hunter D, and there's that paper bag Gazlowe. Oh my
Wait,
god!
that's Howland. That's Howland.
Oh, this is Howland.
That's not Howland.
Yes.
You guys are mean.
It's not mean.
I love the Gazlowe.
Why was the penguin upside down on one of the bags?
Because it could be.
Okay.
What difference does it make?
This one's kind of whatever.
Right wing with a witch hat. Yeah, I mean it's not fantastic, but
It just rubbed its nose. That was interesting.
Yeah.
I do like Pumpkin Cho'Gall. Pumpkin Cho'Gall is cool.
Pumpkinhead Cho'Gall, yeah.
However,
I
the
really didn't-
3 different colors are kind of wet.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one in particular, just because all they did was put a pumpkin on his head. But then again, I love the Reaper skin in Overwatch, so
Now Chromie is awesome.
this is fun.
Chromie is amazing.
Creepy Chromie is cool.
Creepy Chromie,
I
with
love
a little
the
skull and a
bow.
bow tie.
Yep.
I love the bow and the dance.
And then the
Best
murky
one.
is funny.
Best one, the garden. If you guys play Garden of Terror, the little itty bitty plants that you collect before you go kill the big one. He's dressed up as one of those. He's
Now,
got the giant eye and all that.
They could have made that one better though, and made the fish have one big eye on the front of it too. And then they're showing some random ones, some Genjis.
More colors. Yeah, some more colors.
And then here's a really cool horse.
horse wearing a sheet.
I like the horse wearing a sheet. That is a freaking.
But what about the
adorable.
horse wearing a sheet with a picture of a horse drawn on it?
That
I think
that's
that's
the one
fun.
I was mentioning.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
adorable.
that one's funny. I like the Halloween themed.
Sprays.
Well, the Halloween themed sheet on the horse.
Oh, got it.
That's the one I liked.
Now
Yeah,
some
so
of these
these
sprays, these ones at the end there are already exist in the game. So I don't know what that was.
They already exist in
Junkrat.
Overwatch.
Yeah,
Oh, now check out this horse though.
That is
That's
a
a
cool
pretty cool.
horse.
Which one is that?
that is probably going to be a quest reward for doing whatever series of quests that they give you for Halloween.
All right, so that's pretty
And the
much it.
Junkrat dance.
Yes.
And
Oh,
then
hold
the-
on. This is the kick-ass logo. All right, cool. So yeah, that I was thinking about trying to break that up into different videos or pictures of the video, and it just didn't make any sense because there's so much coolness in there. We had to basically just watch it. because there's a lot of cool stuff in there. God damn it, Heroes! Stop trying to make me play you. I don't want to play you. Stop trying to make me. They definitely
gonna
doing it,
all right.
Heroes. Keep doing it.
They have some of the best creative minds working on Heroes. I giving that there, but
So,
I don't want to play it.
We haven't got your opinion on it. Did you see the new Diva skin for Heroes?
Are you talking about the Diva skin that is right over on the other side
the
of the
Scarlet?
chat? Yeah, that one. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yep.
The Deathwing.
You know how I knew that I saw that one?
I linked it everywhere.
No,
Starters.
I knew that I saw that one because I'm the one that put it on the graphic that we're using. That's how I knew that I'd already seen it.
Oh, okay. See, one could almost think that I was trying to do some kind of a segue into asking you some questions. Also trying to get you to play Heroes.
Segways are dangerous, man. You need to wear a helmet or you'll fall and hurt yourself. You
might
have to
do
be
that
careful.
anyway.
You have to be careful on segways.
I might fall and hurt myself anyway. I mean, a helmet's really not going to do much for me.
All right. So speaking of ways to hurt yourself,
Damn.
by which I mean speaking of areas where people like to beat each other up, by which I mean a grand arena. Guess what? There's actually a really cool battle arena that Overwatch has now.
A what?
Yeah, it's really neat. If you haven't
It's
checked this
not
out,
just Overwatch. I mean, this is designed for Overwatch right now, but they can
But-
do other things in it.
clearly it has a giant Overwatch logo on the stage that they could never take down or replace with anything else or cover up in any kind of a way. So it can only be Overwatch. Clearly.
Okay.
No. Anyway, it's still pretty cool. If you haven't checked this out, you should take a look at it. It's pretty neat. With the 3 giant screens and having everybody right there. It feels kind of cozy, but at the same time, it fits a whole bunch of people. So I don't know if you guys noticed or if you saw it today, but they announced one of the teams for the Overwatch League. Did you guys see the Dallas Fuel?
I did
yeah.
see that. I forgot the name, but I saw the announcement on Twitter.
I like the flame logo. The logo looks nice.
The logo is
fuel
nice.
is interesting.
The name is
Fuel?
kind of.
Fuel, so they're like gasoline. They're gasoline.
Oh no, I understand the reference and why they did it. It's just the name's kind of meh. But they're the second team that's been officially announced with a name because we have the Shanghai Dragons. Also,
Now I
And-
I didn't see the Shanghai Dragons. Do they have a cool
Yeah.
logo? Because I might
it's a
want to get some stuff.
big. It's a you'll like it. It's a
Okay.
big old dragon in the shape of an S for Shanghai.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I may have to support the Chinese folks if they have a cool logo.
That's Korea, but yeah,
Oh, whatever. I'm sorry, that was completely racist and not meant to be at all.
it's it's Asian.
It's Korean.
They're
It's
they're
okay.
they're the best players, so they're gonna have the coolest stuff.
So, have you guys looked at any of the merch yet that they're selling for this? Is it like jerseys and hats and stuff, or is it what do they
I
have?
don't
I would have to let me open the link again real quick just to make sure, but I know there was a picture that had the the vendor area.
Mm.
No,
yeah, I did see that,
shirts,
actually.
bags. Looks like backpacks.
What is with
Shirt,
Blizzard and
obviously.
backpacks? Blizzard apparently thinks we all need like 17,000 bags. Have you noticed this?
Okay, so I would have 1,000,000 backpacks if I could.
But would you walk 500 million miles?
Yes, I love that song, and I'm apparently moving that far. So
I don't think she got the reference.
I did
don't
get
think
the
she-
reference. I understand the reference. I'm ignoring the reference.
Oh boy.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's no jerseys there yet.
They need
But
jerseys.
I have a feeling that there will be because there's a nice big open area. where
16
it's-
slot backpack. Oh my god, that was good. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a nice big open area that has nothing in it that they could probably put jerseys and stuff.
Yeah, Alessandra's dropping mics in our chat room. If you're not here for the chat, you're missing out. So I'm just gonna go here before we switch it over and start talking about some WoW stuff because this is kind of WoW stuff. So this year's goodie bag is a bag. Last year's goodie bag was a bag. What was the year
Yep.
before that? Did you get a bag then too?
Yep. Last year's goodie bag, wasn't it a bag you could... No, sorry. The first year you could buy the bag separately. I think. I don't remember, actually.
It
I
just
don't think
seems-
there was an actual.
I don't think it
last
was
year
a
had
goodie.
bag.
Last year definitely had a bag. Oh, you know what? I may be
If-
confusing the year before.
I think
One of them
last
had like a
year-
side bag that was really nice with the
One-
flap with all the logos on it. That may have been year before last, though.
One year you could buy the bag, and one year it came with the thing.
He's
I believe.
not talking about the actual it being a goodie bag. He's talking what it
Just the
actually
BlizzCon
was.
bag, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So 2015 had the laptop satchel thingy.
Which was really nice.
Yeah. I don't think last year's had a bag.
Okay. All right. Well, then maybe
I
I'm
mean,
overreacting
if you're
a
okay
little
with
bit.
it, I can get up and walk right over there and grab the box because everything's
Totally
still in the
not
box.
okay with it. You're not allowed to stand up because people might see your 7-foot sword or whatever. And that is not.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah, as you can tell, anyone who's listening or watching, I'm a little rusty at this. So anyway, isn't there supposed to be a team in Miami, or am I?
There
Was it Miami or New York? I know there was an East Coast team, but I don't remember if it
Boston,
was Boston.
Philadelphia. Both of them have teams, I think.
Is there a Miami? If there's a Miami, I have to support the Miami team. If there's not a Miami team, then I'm gonna be Shanghai
I
Dragon.
think there's a Miami team.
And they better not just be the Heat. If they're the Heat, then no.
They would not be the Heat.
They would probably get sued for copyright for that.
I don't know if, well, can you really copyright the Heat?
Philadelphia, Dallas, Houston are the newest three.
I actually just was looking up the team
Boston,
names.
New York, London, Miami / Orlando
Sweet,
as
okay.
a team.
How's it Miami / Orlando? It's two entirely different
That's-
cities.
They're I don't think
Yeah,
they're
it
sure.
says Miami - Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
Weird.
San
Okay.
Francisco, Shanghai, Seoul, and 2 LA teams.
Okay. Well, I've sidetracked us enough, but that was not language or words. I've sidetracked us enough. Michael made the point about rooting for the home team, and I agree. So I'll have to check out the Miami stuff, but that Shanghai Dragon sounds cool. So I'm not going to play the bumper, but the big thing for WoW this week is the Q&A, which happened like 2 days ago, right?
Yep.
Yesterday.
Thursday. Well, it's technically Saturday now.
For us, but not for the West Coast.
So I want you to gaze into the eyes of Sir Lore the Pimp Jacket.
So his hair is pulled back, which is a little weird to look at, but then again,
There's
so is
nothing
it not.
wrong with his hair pulled
You're
back.
supposed to be gazing into his eyes.
No. So I didn't say there was anything weird with hair being pulled back or in that. I'm just used to his hair being everywhere. Thus, it's a little weird to see it pulled back. That's all I was saying there.
He is wearing a pimp jacket
A tweed
and
jacket.
staring into your eyes in order to hypnotize you. That's what's happening here. And Draven just ran away. He's going to check something. Yes, don't watch out. His sword.
I think he's gonna put on a pimp jacket.
Maybe. I don't know.
No.
But any tweed jacket is a pimp jacket if you ask me. Especially if it's got the patches on the elbows. If you got the patches on the elbows, that is totally a pimp jacket.
Dude, the patches on the elbows go with the pipe. You have to have a pipe. and
I
you got
would
the,
not
like,
be
dirty professor
surprised.
look.
I would not be surprised at all if Mr. Lore doesn't have a pipe in his jacket pocket right now in this picture.
That would be hysterical. But it's like the dirty professor, the professor who teaches college who just like gets hung over and then wakes up. It's more than just a pimp jacket.
Totally. And we have something else that I need to share before we really go into the details of our Q&A session here. And if you've been paying attention, you may have already seen this, but if you haven't, you should have, because this might possibly be the greatest thing Laura's ever done. And I really don't feel like I'm exaggerating when I say that. So here, enjoy.
See that? It was like, dearest Ian, I'm curious if whether or not the Spider World boss in Suramar will ever come back. As of writing this, it has been up only once since launch, and I really need rank 3 prolonged power recipe. Yours as ever, Gradient.
Okay, so
I take every.
So did you hear Ian snickering in the background the whole time that he was reading that? That was amazing.
Yep.
I really was impressed with that. I know it was stupid and dorky and totally nerdy, and I really just enjoyed that thoroughly.
So, did you notice how it slightly sounded like WoW Krendor?
The what's the right word?
The inflection of
The
his
tone?
voice.
The tone?
Yeah.
Yeah, the tone I can see that.
I didn't hear WoW Krendor at all. All I heard was John Jagger from his podcast, Core, which is a Heroes podcast with Scott Johnson. He does a thing called Dear Martha, and it was exactly that. Only, Dear Martha instead of Dear Ian.
Dear Martha. All right, so
My dear.
let's jump in because
And-
there's. Go
Wait,
ahead.
before we jump in,
What are you? He's showing us a bag.
I got a box here of last year's thing. There was no bag.
So
was
last
the
year it was
Stein.
the
Okay.
orderable
Hold
ones.
on. Wasn't there a bag of dice in there?
Ha 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 ha.
You, sir, can shut your dirty mouth.
Am I
Ooh,
correct?
damn.
Am I correct?
Yeah, there's dice in there, but there's no big bag.
It's not a big bag. Well, I mean, that's opinions. Some people might say that's a big bag. Some people would say that that's not a big bag. But it's not about the size. It's about how you use it. And is it holding your dice correctly?
It's a bag of holding, okay?
Yes. It's a bag.
But it's not a
Fury
a
doesn't
backpack
get what
type
that
bag.
is.
I totally get what that is. I started
Really?
the double entendre, and we can continue. All right.
No,
So
That's
Bag
not
of
what she's
hol-
going for.
Bag of holding is a D&D reference.
no, I didn't ever play D&D. To me, holding means something entirely different, and we don't discuss that here on this show because we're fine, upstanding citizens. All right, for the Q&A.
No. You're mixing up two totally separate things.
I know. I totally know. Okay. So, just like always with Q&A, we're not going to cover every single thing that was said because we'll be here for another hour, but we are going to highlight a few things. Artifact appearances. I don't know why they feel like they need to tell us this every freaking time they do a Q&A, what's going to happen with artifact appearances after this expansion.
I can tell you why. Because it's an easy question to answer, and it gets asked every single time they ask for questions.
That's a very cynical way of thinking.
Well, if they weren't gonna do that, what else would they, I mean, they're not gonna answer questions of what's actually coming up.
Kind of sounds like you're a little salty that you want them to answer questions that actually matter and not ones that they've already answered 600 times.
Right?
I mean, that would be nice.
Yeah, salty. Okay, legendary items. Same system as we had before. Next.
No new ones.
There are legendary tokens, but unless you happen to be someone like Dez who has every single freaking legendary that is out there for your class, no matter what spec you are, you'll never see one. So there.
And who cares?
Yeah.
I got all my rep ones. I still have some.
Well,
Yeah,
you
but this
have
is-
12 more to go.
Yay.
So it won't affect you. Next, class balance.
No class balance.
They're not doing
happening
any.
before
Yes.
raid.
Well, not yet. They're gonna wait until after the next raid's out to see how it works.
Did you
but
hear I said before raid?
I
Yeah.
did. You totally said
I was
it
ignoring
correctly.
you.
And they're fairly happy with balance, at least from an actual output standing right now. Which, to be perfectly honest, as much as we bitch about it, they've been doing pretty good with balance for the most part. Other than what we're going to talk about later on, where you're going to see me go off. Tier set bonuses. they think it's kind of dumb that people try to get the 4 and the 2, and they think that that's kind of not necessarily good. And now people might have to get the 2 and the 2 and the 2, and that's not very good either. So they might do something different next expansion.
I don't understand why people do that.
Numbers.
To be honest.
Some classes it just gives you higher numbers.
Well, then they should make better set bonuses.
I think that's kind of where Ian agrees with you, that it shouldn't be a thing.
I think the easier solution, instead of getting that kind of thing, is just make only one set bonuses active.
I would agree with that too. That could have been something where if you're wearing 2 different sets, the higher of the 2 is the only one that can be active.
That's a
But
good idea.
At this point, people have been doing it this whole expansion, so that's the kind of change. If they change it in the middle of the expansion, people will bitch. So it's easier for them to change next expansion.
Well, then they can just nerf as you're graduating out of, let's say, someone's still using Emerald Nightmare stuff, which if they are, they're doing it wrong. But for example, if they
Unless
are
it's
doing that,
Titanforged.
Yeah.
nerf that set.
Yeah, I'm not
We're past
necessarily.
it now. It just lower the numbers on it. No problem.
I just feel like that's something they just don't need to focus a lot of time on at this point. Just get us through Antorus. Don't have 6 freaking tier slots for next expansion, because we're not going to have the same kind of legendary system most likely. We don't
I
need
really
5
hope
tier
we
slots.
don't.
5 is enough. We don't need 6. And
Did
then you
he
don't have to
say
worry about it
tier
anymore.
sluts?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it said sets, but I might have, because my mind wanders. Mythic Dungeons team is going to do more with Mythic Dungeons in the future after seeing the success of the Mythic Dungeon Invitational. Good. Bring it to BlizzCon. Everybody liked it. There was still crazy bugs that they need to fix, but everybody enjoyed it. It was cool.
Like the elevator boss.
Yeah, and like everybody died, and what are you
Couldn't
going to do?
release.
Hey, let's just res everybody in. Hey, they're stuck in a cage. What are they going to... Those kinds of things shouldn't happen in something that you're actually streaming as a pinnacle of performance and an event for people to watch. It makes Blizzard look bad when that happens. They should fix that, or not use the dungeons where they know that exists, so that doesn't happen.
I mean, they could have gone to Violet Hold, but it's the incoming stuff is time. They can't run that speed quick.
So they thought of that one, but they didn't think of the other ones. All right, mission rewards. In Taurus Raids missions become available, you'll need those high-level followers to access them. Is anybody else getting the 900 tokens, even though all their people are 900?
I'm not doing them anymore, but yeah, I still get them.
You don't get them once you start putting your followers to 925, 950. All my followers are 925 and like
I'm not getting the 10 or 5 upgrades anymore, though.
950.
Like, I don't get the
No,
10
you
or
don't
5
get
upgrades.
those.
They
have to do
you
the
can't use them.
quest. The only way to upgrade your followers is to do the quest chain in, and then you get the missions to give you a 925 piece, and you get all your dudes to 925. Then you will get another quest to get a 950 piece. So it's
Apparently, I've never
specific.
gotten one of those quests.
Yeah.
You
Right.
probably have
The
to do
only
a
way-
quest chain still.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
there's a
finished.
quest
I
chain to
finished
do
the
it.
quest chains.
Well, it
No,
wasn't
'cause they-
available right away. It was new.
Yeah,
I think I
just came
finished
out,
them
like-
all.
I
But-
don't think so.
Alright.
You may have missed it during.
But you can
Or
use
not.
those old tokens up to 900.
Okay. Which all
Or
mine are already
if
900.
you get really lucky and you have like an 895, I know you can use a 10, so you can get the 905. But I don't know if you can use a 15.
no,
to get
you can't. You can't.
So you could, in theory,
Uh,
get to 905 by using those tokens if you do it right. But once you hit that 900 marker, you just sell
use
those
a
old
10 when they're
tokens.
895. Smart guy. All right. So somebody said, hey, we want to be able to use the Argus whistle on all of our people. Why do we have to do this on every single tune? And they're like, hey, you're right. That's going to happen.
Yay! I don't remember his name, but they called him out and they said, "Good job."
They did. See, PvP season, they again emphasize that PvP season does not necessarily coincide with a major patch nor a major raid zone. Instead, it actually is supposed to coincide with the availability of new gear.
Baloney. New
Well-
Gear has been tied to patches for how long?
I
But-
know, right?
But it. Okay, so we need to talk about being tied to patches, because the last raid. When did it come out?
It's not out yet.
Well, that would be the next raid. I'm talking about the last raid.
Oh,
So
I thought you meant the last raid of the expansion. Like 5-6 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then like there was the one before that did not come out with a patch. It came out shortly after a patch, and then there was the one where the patch was named after the raid, but we didn't get to go in it yet until the next half patch after that. So the point he's trying to make is that just because there's a minor patch does not mean things are necessarily going to be starting and ending. So like when 7.3.2 comes out, it's not going to be the end of a PvP season. Because
That's true.
Because 7.3.2 is not a major patch. But it is Antorus. Most likely. Probably.
Right after BlizzCon.
Probably. Right after BlizzCon. Probably.
like a week and a half later.
So 11 weeks. What week are we on? Anyway. So yeah, we'll see what happens. World Quest. Hey, World Quests are shouldn't they all be account wide? No.
Well, sorry, you need to clarify which world quests.
These ones are specifically talking about Krokon and Macquarie. And you can't do those until you've unlocked the zone with the questing. So because of the way that zone is made, no, you have to do the quest first. I don't really see a problem.
Hour and a half, get both of them. Good to go.
Get a bunch of AP for doing quests, whatever.
Yeah.
And since your artifact knowledge goes up every week anyway, the longer you wait, the more AP you're gonna get for it. So don't complain. Pardon me.
Well, I mean,
I think it's
if you
partly
don't,
the missions.
yeah, if you don't do the world quests, like to unlock those world quests, you are missing out on a lot of AP until you do. But if you do wait, you'll get more, and then it probably will pretty much even
So
out, but you will likely get more.
You
if you
will
do it
get
now.
more from the quests if you wait and do them later. You will miss the AP that's currently available if you don't have them unlocked now.
Yeah, so it's gonna even more or less
It'll even out. World bosses.
This is the one that a lot of people are throwing a fit about.
Is this the spider in Suramar that he said the thing about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know if it's a
people-
spider, but it's something. Yeah.
It is. People want prolonged power 3 or whatever, and this only way to get it is by killing this thing, and whatever. Who cares? What I say on that?
It's more of it turned into more of a profession thing where I don't think anyone is happy with professions this expansion, including Blizzard at this point, because they're seeing everyone complain that professions suck. Like, in my case, I have every expansion up till this one maxed every single profession that I have been able to, and some of them might have taken me the entire expansion just because of alt. In this one, I have maxed first aid because cloth is easy to get. I have maxed archaeology because all you got to do is dig, and I have maxed fishing because there was a reward I wanted, and the only way to do that was fishing. None of those costed me a dime. I'm okay with spending some gold to work on professions. This expansion, no, I just don't care.
Pretty much.
I have max
Yeah.
enchanting on 6 characters.
What? Yeah, but
Sir
that
are
isn't.
insane.
Do you have to buy? Like, is that easy just to go like give your quest gear and stuff, or because the other stuff you have to buy
It's super
a shit
easy
ton of mats.
because all the world quests that give you a purple that you don't need
exactly.
help you further along your enchanting. Plus, as
I should probably do that on my mage.
a raider, all of my raiding tunes have enchanting because every time we have something that no one needs, I DE it and then make stuff for the people on my raid team. So
That's true.
it's super easy. But I've also switched raid tunes like 5 times or something. So because on 3 different teams. So because of that, I have enchanting on like 6 tunes.
Yeah.
I also have engineering on a couple that I think is maxed, if not maxed, very close to maxed. But honestly, the only thing that I want those for is the auto hammers, because everything else they can do is like whatever.
I've got jewel crafting, and I've got blacksmithing, and the only time I've really put any real effort into it is via the Dark Moon Fair.
So speaking of jewel crafting, to get the jewel crafting recipes, you need gems.
Yeah.
To get the gems, the ore drop rate is shit. I refuse to get the new gems and the new helmets, which is bad because I want the new helmets. I'm not going to write or something.
No, this is me telling Draven to write down the timestamp so he can edit your curse words.
That wasn't a bad
Shame,
curse
shame,
word.
shame.
So I'm not buying those helmets because they're too expensive and they're not worth it.
Exactly.
I do have the cuts and I have been able to use them, but
I just want the transmog, to be honest.
Okay. Other world bosses. Game has passed them by, so their loot will not be updated. Because unless you're a fresh 100, the only reason you should really be killing those is to either get your world quest area done or to get random stuff like, I don't know, the Fury cool set.
or the Titan Forge Arcano Crystal, which here's my problem with this answer.
There's a better way to
And
get that, by the way, than killing Old Wither Jim. But go ahead.
Yeah. So my problem is they said they're not going to update those things, but the 910 vendor that you can do the Veiled Argonite or whatever can drop a freaking 955 Arcano Crystal.
Yep, if you're lucky.
Yep.
Which is what you should be doing, not killing Wither Jim.
Well, I mean, Wither Jim hasn't been up anyway, but they're clearly capable of updating the loot.
But they've never updated since we've
There's
had
no
world
reason to do
bosses.
it.
There's
Yeah, I mean,
they never
it's-
updated Undasta when.
No, I
Mallet
understand that,
came
and I'm
out
not
with
asking them to update,
So,
but
there's-
their logic behind not doing it is my issue with it.
No, because the logic makes sense. It's
Well,
old content. Why
It's
would
old
you
content,
update?
so why would they update it? Because we don't need the loot anymore. Well, that's because we can get the same exact loot, only better, from this other thing over here.
So here's the question,
That's
Draven.
what they want you to do.
If you had to solo the majority of those world bosses, could you do it? Either red or prot, could you do it?
Probably not on that character, but I probably could on my Death Knight.
So say you had 3 people. Could you kill pretty much every single world boss?
Easy.
Yes.
If one was
So-
a tank, one was a healer, one was a DPS, 3 people, no,
If they
no
were
problem.
going to upgrade that gear, they would have to make those bosses harder.
Okay. Everyone joins our raid group for it anyway.
That's part of the reason why they don't do it. Anyway, okay, moving on. Story. Story in the last few patches is focused on the united effort against the Legion. Oh, okay.
No.
We'll see Grainmane and Sylvanas going at it again in the future, they said. Look forward to that.
AKA in 2 to 3 expansions.
Well, I mean, I just remember Warlords had that pretty much abrupt end to the story. And honestly, that's the only part to me that kind of feels like we have a weird abrupt end is just their part of the story. I don't understand why that story just stopped. There should be more to it.
It didn't even need to exist. Like the only reason it was there is to lead up to Helia, but we didn't need Helia's storyline. Like Helia's.
She had 2.
I mean, she kind of already had
Storylines
most-
going at
exactly,
her.
Exactly. So the my point is that once, in spoilers, if you haven't done this already, it's not my fault.
It's been out for over a year.
Once he smashes the lantern and she shoots him, there should be more. Can we have some more?
Exactly.
Yeah. The only thing we see past that is literally Greymane laying on a table. And then with the he's obviously healed because later on, he's hanging out with Anduin and he
Yep.
looks older.
Yep.
Des says that they just need to get a room.
Maybe.
That's kind of true. Get all that anger out.
All right.
Well,
Broken
she's
Shore
more
buildings.
into this other guy, but yeah.
So somebody made the comment about how they said that the buildings in the Broken Shore would be up all the time. I actually remember them saying that there would be
I
a
do
time
too.
where the buildings would probably all be up almost all the time, is basically what they said. And that hasn't happened. But to be perfectly honest, does anybody really care about those buildings at this point? Most of the content you're doing is not even on that area anyway.
I care about 2 of the buildings.
Mage Tower, so that you can get your artifact appearance, and what's the other one?
Command Center.
For what?
The follower legendary items.
I don't give a shit about follower legendary items. It's okay. I've said that word twice. Yay. It's just a.
They're all just words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but that one's
But
not
no,
a bad
no,
word.
I, for the most part, I don't care about most of the legendary follower items, but some of them do have really nice. Here's a 80% chance of completing this bonus. I'm exaggerating, of course, but
The new stuff, the new follower items are so much better than even those legendary ones.
The green ones are better than a lot of the other ones.
So it doesn't matter anymore.
well, I
really-
mean, there's always I would like a gold and AP for my bodyguard.
Granted, for your
I
bodyguard.
haven't
That
got
makes
that one
sense.
yet.
That makes sense for the bodyguard, for sure.
By the way, get meatball for your bodyguard, everybody.
I haven't done that yet. I
No,
need to.
he completes missions. He's like a
He's
counter
the
to
best
every mission.
bodyguard, though.
Yeah, but he's a counter to every mission, so you're losing out on the 200% chance.
I'm getting plenty of 200%, but he's the best bodyguard. You get a mob, including rares, down to like 15, 20%. He literally eats them. He stuns them, and they just stand
Yeah,
there
but
spasming, and then boom, pile of.
We don't have issues killing rares even on the
No, we
new
don't.
Argus. So then you
But
don't really
it
need
speeds
him.
it up. It speeds up the process. You go, okay, meatball,
So
thanks.
make him be your
Move on to the
bodyguard
next.
while you do your dailies, and then send him on a mission when you're done. You
I just-
can have both here, people.
I would just have him complete my 200% gold missions, which are now like 1,200 gold when you get your followers up to 950 plus the bonus of 1,500.
I've been doing fine, getting 200% on my stuff. So
All right, mythic mounts.
potato.
Mythic mounts are supposed to be hard to get. Period. They're supposed to be hard to get. Stop complaining that you need more mythic mounts.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I actually am siding on the Raiders for this one.
I am not. They're supposed to be
I'm
hard to
not
get.
either.
Okay, so the reason I'm siding is back in when we did 10 and 25, 10 man got 1, 25 got 2.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. 20 is 2 times 10.
The
So why are
only
they not
reason
getting
they did that,
2?
the only reason they did that is when there was 25 and then there was 10, they were trying to make it equal. So no matter whether you ran 10 or you ran 25, you had the same chance of getting the same loot. It's the only reason they did that.
Okay.
Now that you actually don't have 2 different ways to run the raid, it doesn't matter anymore. You have the same chance no matter what.
I'm still in the boat of they should have 2. Just because when you had 10, if that would have been the only way, oh, we're going to do 20 now. Well, then you give them an extra amount.
If everyone's special, no one's special.
How many people have actually completed Mythic Kill Jaden at this point? Or Mythic Gul'dan or any of the other mount ones?
That's
Yeah,
my
there's
point.
a lot of them. There's a lot of them right now.
Mythic Kill Jaden, less than 100 guilds.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And even if they've been doing it from week 1, that's still hardly any of them that have that mount.
I'm going
I
to hurt your
understand their
feelings
point
even
of view
more.
on it.
I think they should take them out of the game once the content's not current.
After the next thing that happened, I don't think that it's going to happen ever again.
It probably won't, but I think they should. All right, moving on.
But then you'd
RNG.
have no invincible.
That's
He
okay.
doesn't care. Yeah.
Uh,
They want people to run the old stuff, though. That's one main reason why a lot of the old stuff gets run.
Not according to Ian. He doesn't want people to run the old stuff, especially not for like a legendary. Actually said that. RNG, randomness has always been at the core of World of Warcraft. It's been part of most games, going back to pen and paper games. Needs to be carefully managed. You talked about how they weren't exactly fans of the way RNG works with legendaries. They like legendaries, but they don't like the fact that if you get the one that increases your player power by 8% or whatever, that you'll never wear the really cool one that lets you do weird stuff. Totally agree with that. I also feel like they're a little watered down. If you have 18 legendaries, are they really legendary?
No. No, they're just funny colored pieces to me.
Yep.
They're not. It's
I
not
think they
like
should be marked as artifact or something instead of legendary, and then have like one of them actually being legendary.
I would agree with that.
But in terms of the RNG thing, there's RNG, and then there's Legion RNG.
Yeah.
There's so much RNG. There's RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG. It's a
Well,
freaking
they-
RNG matrix.
they dodged the question on that one a little bit, to be honest. I think.
They did. Well, he did. But that's one of those questions you don't really think he's going to answer it right.
Not really.
Of course not.
Because it's no matter what he says, it's going to be negative.
Well, exactly, because the whole reason behind the RNG is just played time. So.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Progression is one of the main parts of the game. It's less exciting when you are killing a boss on farm over and over and over, and there is zero chance that you could get something that is an upgrade. Agreed. That's what I was talking about. How he doesn't really want you to run old content.
Well, that's the farm legendaries.
True.
That's not him
That's-
going back. When I say old content, I'm not talking this expansion. I'm talking last expansion prior, for transmog.
But there's legendaries in those too. Like say if you're running old BT over and over just to try to get Warglaives. That's
Yeah, but you can't actually use them for anything now.
Exactly.
You're that
except for
level.
the fact that you get the not a achievement,
the
but the other
appearance.
thing.
The
You can buy the
appearance,
appearance.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's something else.
anyway, all right, Netherlight Crucible. There's no planned catch-up system. There doesn't need to be one. You have artifact knowledge that goes up. Your artifact knowledge is the catch-up system for Netherlight Crucible. Once you've unlocked it on one tune, it's unlocked on all of the tunes, and your artifact power is what allows you to unlock each stage. So
Bro,
That was
I'm
a
on
dumb
board with
question.
him on that one. Yeah, that was.
I agree with
there's-
that.
it was a dumb question.
So, with these Q&As, I love that they do them. And I love that they take the time and, go through it. They need someone to spend a little more time going through the questions.
To be fair, at the beginning of this one, the questions flowed. So I feel like someone did because it was like the same question, then a little
They
bit
also-
different, same question, then a little
they-
bit different, same question.
But they also had the artifact power question that they get every single time.
True. And then, yeah, the artifact appearance, yeah.
Yeah.
Connected Realms are talking about taking the realms that have no population and putting them back together. They've worked out their issues. They're going to do that again. That's always a scary thing to me because that's basically shutting down servers is what that is. They're making two servers become one server. I get it. If there's not enough people on your server, you want to be able to play with people. Totally. But it's also a scary thought because if you don't need those servers, does that mean we have not enough people playing the game?
I have a question about that though. What if it's not a question of not enough people playing the game, but back when WoW was at its peak, were all the servers for why do we have 20 million servers to choose from?
Well, honestly, there's a couple of different things that contribute to that. Number one, the way the software was written way back when, you needed more servers because the servers could handle less people than what they can handle now.
Oh, that's true.
Plus, with sharding and a lot of the other things that they're doing, where it basically is an instance version of the area that you're in. It's not actually everyone's in the same area. There's 16 different Stormwinds,
Yeah.
for example. That lessens the actual server load on the servers as well. So a lot of things have changed with the way that they actually work in order to make the individual servers run better. But what has really kind of hurt WoW, even if you don't talk about the fact that we don't have anywhere near as many people did play at one time playing anymore, is people migrate to servers where there's a big population of their faction.
Yeah.
So because of that, servers that have a low alliance, side will always have a low alliance side because new alliance players won't want to go there because there's no alliance players there. They would rather go to a server that actually has lots of alliance on it. So if they can take a full alliance server and pair it with a full horde server, they can actually say, okay, this is one really good server and it's fairly balanced. and it's very
Yeah.
healthy, which makes total sense. But to me, you're still, even though you're doing something that's right and that's good and that will in effect really help players on both of those servers, you are shutting down servers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I wouldn't phrase it like that. I understand the argument,
yeah,
but it's more you're giving this server access to this server
yeah.
also, and not shutting one down or two down and
When
okay,
you-
you're all with this server.
When you do that though, Draven, they are not linking to servers. Like it's not from a hardware standpoint, not from a software standpoint. From a hardware standpoint, you are not linking two servers together. You are taking people from server B and moving them to server A. And now server A houses both people. You see what I'm saying? So you are, in a sense, still closing a server because you've taken everyone from the one and put them with the other one.
Okay, but they still have their little server tag and all that, and that's fine. But that just means there's one less piece of hardware dedicated to server and can be put to sharding or something like that.
And it's not really how it works, but yeah.
Well, I'm just that's one more piece of hardware they can use for something else. If they're physically taking the data from B to A, that frees up B.
Yes, but they usually don't need B when that happens. But anyway, we can keep going. Other spec artifacts. Artifact knowledge is enough to help players. Yeah, so they said the same thing as before. People are complaining because, hey, I want to be able to play multiple specs, but I feel like I need to dump all my AP into my main spec. Is there something that can make me better? And realistically, if you dump all your AP into one spec, you will be 3 higher than if you split it between 2 specs.
That's really not that.
Remax.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Like in my case, I put one concordance point into Prot, one into Holy. Admittedly, I did this for mounts, but because of the number differential between where I'm at with Rhett, that's like a third of a level at this point. So
Yeah.
I'm really not that much further down than I would be.
absolutely. And honestly, when you're talking about one concordance point, it's like a fraction of a percent damage or healing or survivability.
Well, one concordance point is a decent bump. After that, though, that's
I'm
when
talking
it's
about
a
when you're
refresh.
like 55. Getting
Yeah.
56 is a marginal increase.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, when you're 41 or whatever the number was when you got the very first concordance, yes, that's a big jump. And the first couple after that were decent. But once you get to where we are now, it doesn't matter anymore, really. Even if you're like min-maxing.
At this point, it's literally you want to dump them for the Crucible, and that's it.
Yep. Which is the one
And
part of that question I agree with is the Crucible part. Okay. Class tuning data.
They use Sims.
They say they use everything. They use SimCraft, they use logs, and they use their internal data, which is the right answer. I don't disagree with everything they said. That was actually kind of smart. That was one of the smarter questions that was asked, if you ask me. And I really liked his answer. It made a lot of sense. Because even if Blizzard says the classes are balanced, but the logs say they're not, the community is who really decides whether or not classes suck or not Blizzard. And if we're
Well,
doing it wrong because we don't understand how it's supposed to be played and that's why it sucks, they can do things to try to help us figure out
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be fair, a lot of times like this, the Sims and the logs, you're looking at, okay, this is what the world first people are doing. Clearly, these are the best.
Hmm.
And then you get the blind, deaf, can't feel the keyboard people who literally are rolling their face on the keyboard trying to do something, and they're simming 1 DPS
Hmm.
on the other one of the other
Which
sex. Well,
that's why it's important that they look at everything.
yeah.
All right. That's pretty much all the same thing that we were talking about there. So let's go to the next one. Almost done with the Q&A. We got one more. Okay, flying. There won't be flying on Argus. They built it in a way where they can't have flying. To be perfectly honest,
Well,
I don't care.
yeah, I'm perfectly fine with no flying, and I've been telling people this for weeks. But for them to say they can't do it
That's what.
is wrong.
Well, no, that's what I was trying to tell you guys.
Yeah. No, no.
On Reddit a few weeks ago, one of the guys who was his job was working on the backdrops. The way they did it is it's not building something out of polygons. It's literally a physical painting.
Mhm.
So if you fly, you're just gonna see like a flat line. You're not gonna see a 3D world.
Yep.
So, but it's gorgeous this way. Like you see the planets and stuff. And I mean,
Yeah,
what if like story wise, what if the magical whatever that makes us fly doesn't exist on Argus? Done, you know?
So I'm fine with not flying. I prefer not flying on Argus. To me, it just makes sense. What I was saying was they said they can't do it. They could. It would take a lot of work. They'd have to redo
But-
that entire background. I'm not arguing that. It would take a lot of work. It is not worth the effort.
It probably wouldn't look as good either.
It probably wouldn't look as good either.
Exactly.
But it is possible if they decided to. Because we didn't have flying in normal Azeroth for how many years?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
but they had
because
the
of
cataclysm.
and then they changed everything to make 3D models out of Stormwind instead of the way they did it. It is possible they could do it. It is not worth the effort for them to do it, and it doesn't need it to begin with.
So this is the problem with flying on Argus, really. Obviously, they wanted to make it look epic. They did a great job making it look epic. It's 3 little islands. It's not a whole planet. So if you had flying on Argus, take away the backdrop problem of it trying to make it look good. It's not going to look good. Number 2, it's 3 islands. It's not a planet. There's no water. How are you going to make that make sense when you're flying? It's not, to me, it's not that they can't. It's that it just doesn't make sense. Because if you're flying and there's no water and it's just 3 floating rocks, where's the rest of the planet?
Exactly.
Because we've already seen what it looks like from Azeroth, so it just doesn't make sense to do it. He may have been able to explain that a little bit better than he did. I will give you that one. And yes, they probably could have done it, but the way that it's built right now, it wouldn't make sense. So it doesn't matter to me.
I don't think it would have come out as pretty if they did
I
it
agree.
differently.
I agree. It looks
like
great.
I said, I'm siding on the no flying. I was just pointing out a flaw in his answer.
Yep. All right, so this is the one where I'm going to go off on a rant. Guess which one it is? Active
The
mitigation.
rogues?
No, it's
Oh.
not rogue. It's the reason I don't play my paladin anymore. Challenge of tanking should have to do with the parts of tanking that aren't timing your active mitigation perfectly. The difference between survivability when your active mitigation is up and when it isn't shouldn't be huge. Great. Then why do paladins get one shot from melee attacks in between their SOTRs that they can't have up 100% of the time? Fix that. It's why there's no paladins in heroic, some, not very many, and pretty much 0 in mythic rating. Fix that, Blizzard. Or no one will play paladin tanks next expansion. Period. It's stupid.
We can't say that no one will do it because it is possible someone will do it because it's going to be a new expansion, new boss mechanics, new rules, new
There's always
abilities.
people who make dumb, decisions.
Okay,
that happens
but-
all the time.
But what I'm saying is, you can't say no one will do this next expansion when you're talking rules for this expansion. Just because the rules for this expansion say you can't do the active mitigation on prop paladin like this Doesn't mean they're not going to be freaking OP next expansion at the beginning of the expansion.
Which is why I'm
That's
saying
what
they need to
Draven
fix it.
hopes.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm wanting to happen. They need to fix it. If they don't fix it and it stays the way that it is, people who know how tanks work will not want to play a paladin tank. Period. Now, people who don't know how tanks work, oh, they're pretty. Sure, that's still going to happen. That always happens. That's why there's so many hunters. Sorry, Des. But
Hunters aren't pretty.
they have pets. Anyway,
Some of the
move
pets
on.
can be.
We'll move on. That was my rant. I'm still pissed about the fact that my paladin's a piece of garbage. Class utility. There are a few things removed in initial legion pruning that could come back. Totally okay with that. The problem to me about the class utility thing is the way that the raids were designed. The class utility that exists made it so that only a few different classes, like rogues, for example, really shined. And there wasn't a whole lot of flexibility if you were going to use the strats that took advantage of the class utility, which for normal rating really didn't matter that much. But if you were pushing early heroics or mythics, made a big difference. And that's why a lot of the world first guilds were running 3 or 4 rogues for their KJ kills and 2 bears, because their class utility was just far superior for those fights. What his remarks were great. I don't know if they're going to be able to really make that work. I hope so.
Hopefully.
Then
Bring back Paladin Divine Intervention.
Actually, they should do that. PvP Prestige. Somebody wanted them to be account bound. There's a lot of good reasons why that's not a good idea.
Honestly, they answer that question every single time.
Okay, so Lore, I know you have a hand in this, and I know you listen to us every week because that's your job.
What?
Stop picking these questions that you answer every time.
Yeah.
I know that people ask them every time. Stop picking the same ones. There are people, those of us, not just people who do podcast stuff, but there are those of us who watch every single one of these Q&As. We're tired of seeing the exact same questions. And if someone with a good question has a stupid name that you can't use, make up a name.
King
they
Sassy
said-
Pants has a new question about Artifact.
Well, no, there's some that they said come from names that they can't use.
Mhm.
Make up a name.
In all honesty,
More than one person.
what they should do, what would be really nice, because they are a limited time, and yes, this one seemed like it was longer than normal, which was great. They should
was
take a lot of the questions that they've answered numerous times and put out a text file to go with the video of the answers to those questions, and they should leave the video for the questions that are actually good ones.
I've got it. Stay tuned after the broadcast. We have a 5-minute short video. Frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
Artifact power.
Hmm.
Transmog, artifact appearance, prestige, all that.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah. Anyway, that way they don't have to have the 3 hours of the World of Warcraft music with the thing playing that they never seem to cut off at the beginning of the video, which I find extremely humorous. All right, I think that was it for the Q&A. We did have one other thing that's on your list here. Running of the Gnomes. What's going on with that?
It's the yearly charity event. You create a gnome with pink hair, preferably one without a pet, because there's going to be a freaking ton of people there. It is on... What server is that, Scarlet? I don't remember.
Argent Dawn, I believe.
That sounds right. I think it's on the Archon. Look up Running of the Gnomes in Google. It'll give you all the information you need. You create a gnome. You give it pink hair in creation. You show up to the event, which is literally at the starting area, and you run. And you take some
So
you know.
now that there actually is a running of the gnomes thing in the game, they're still doing the charity event.
Yes. All the in-game thing is them acknowledging it.
Which Alessandra's correcting us. Scarlet Crusade server, October 14th.
Scarlet Crusade, not Argentina. Okay.
Thank you. It seems weird to me. Why would you not just do it on the same time?
Well, they can't put I guess they could because they did that with the fishing. I don't know why they wouldn't, but it's an all-day thing for the in-game thing. For a mini, maybe it's because it's a mini event and they want to make it a whole day thing. I don't know.
I get it. I mean, I feel like WoW did this kind of as a tribute to the fact that the community did this amazing thing.
Pretty much.
So why not take the publicity to the fact that WoW said, hey, that's an amazing thing, and we're going to put it into our game and make your amazing thing even bigger.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it is them saying, hey, here you go. But now I know why. Because this is the actual event is on one server and not on all servers.
Okay.
That's why it's the way it is.
Okay.
So it is literally them just acknowledging it. And it's fine. But yes, 4 p.m. Scarlet Crusade, October 14th. I think that is Eastern time, 4 p.m. So 1 p.m. West Coast.
That would be correct if that's the right time.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I'm coughing all over everywhere. I think we have reached the end of the notes. Yes, we have. So let's tell you how you can get a hold of us. So at Epic Fail Podcast, we do love it when you contact us. So here's the ways that you can do that. We are at www.epicfailpodcast.com. On Facebook, you can find us at /podcastepicfail. Twitter is at podcastepicfail. You can follow Draven at Draven Dresden on Twitter. You can follow Scarlet at Scarlet_CTR. And you can follow me, Theory, at Gank Theory, also on Twitter. Don't forget, you can find our podcast on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. We look forward to hearing from you. It's raining peanuts over here. So.
Well, I didn't want to do Oh Shiny because everyone does Oh Shiny.
Could have done Piece of Arian.
Ooh, piece of Arian. Ooh, piece of Kindy. Ooh, piece of Zera.
Scarlett, are you ready for your shout-outs?
Yes.
You are up.
So I wanted to shout out, first of all, to Theory for being back and surviving a hurricane. Yay. And shout out to our raid team because I'm not going to be there for a bit, so I hope you guys invite me back when I come back. And shout out to our podcast listeners. I hope that you guys still want me back on the podcast after my 6-week break from moving and stuff. And hopefully I get a computer really fast and internet. But I know definitely for a month I won't have it. No, more than a month, about 6 weeks I won't have it. So that's my shout outs.
I guess I'll go next. So I'm going to give a shout at to Scarlet. It's not a shout out, it's a shout at because apparently now I'm going to have to tank again. And then I'm going to give a shout out to all the people who came from all over the country down to Florida to help us get our power back. Places like Louisiana, Ohio, I saw Kansas, all these different companies, Pike Electric, there's a whole bunch of different ones from all over the place that came down here to help us get our power back. You don't know what you got till it's gone. Appreciate you guys.
Someone from Ohio actually managed to find their way to there?
Yeah, man. You'd be surprised. These power guys, they get like a Congo line going with all their power trucks and just freaking truck it to wherever.
Oh, okay. So they were probably following somebody. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
that
sure.
makes more sense.
I'm sure. Yeah. Are you ready?
Now that I've made fun of the Ohio Power people, sure. I'm going to give a shout out to the Ohio Power people because
You just don't want them to shut off your power.
because I would really like to keep it. But for real, I'm gonna give a shout out to. Yeah, I had a list and I closed it on accident earlier, so I forgot.
He doesn't know today.
So I'm just gonna give a shout out to everyone who deserves it. Because I like being general and vague and completely and totally lame on that.
Yeah, I was about to say that was totally lame, but you said it for me.
Yes. Well, I knew it was completely and totally lame when I did that. No, but in all honesty, just nice people in general. They always deserve shout outs.
I'm not nice.
That's why
So-
you didn't get it.
Bad face.
I'm going to give another shout out to Alessander, who has stuck with us and continued to send us emails, even though Draven never reads them, and sends me updates via Discord. And I think you send Scarlett the occasional message as well about cool stuff that's happening, especially in StarCraft,
Yes.
since none of us pay attention to it.
Whenever I know we have a chance of talking about it, you hear about it, or I will
But
mention it to you
she
anyway.
said she wrote about the running of the gnomes.
Yes. And that's when I made the ooh peanut comment, because I read them and I had meant to relay the message, and then I got distracted.
I forgot something.
How horrible.
What?
We'll do it post-show. I got a post-show surprise for those of you that are in chat. Hang with us for at least 30 seconds. I'm going to play something for you.
Oh,
Something
I know what it is.
hysterically funny. I don't know what day 8 is, but I have something cool for you from day 9 after we're done.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
However, it's something that would have to be heavily edited, so we will not actually play it during the show. We'll play it after the show. This is another reason why you should come watch our show live. I'm sorry that it's in the middle of the night. I think that sucks too. But if you want to have fun, if you
Now
want to
that
have
I'm
fun, you got to
changing
come get
time
there.
zones.
Are you actually changing? Are you in Central? Aren't you already Eastern? I'm confused.
There's another time zone after Eastern that's called Atlantic.
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
I didn't know that
And-
time zones went all the
and
way around the world.
fun-
I'm just joking totally.
Fun fact. I'm not living there, but there's actually half a time zone after the Atlantic,
How
and
does
Newfoundland
half
is
a time
half
zone
an hour.
work?
It's half an hour ahead of the next one. So like right
Can't
now
we just
it's
have global time?
2:06.
Let's just have global time. This is stupid.
That one's just that they're just being
That-
lazy.
Let's just
Well,
have global time.
Tell your
3
tell your
p.m. It
ins-
doesn't matter if it's dark or not. It should just be 3 p.m. everywhere at 3 p.m. Period. There shouldn't be time zones. Just it's 3 p.m. Period.
That would be weird. However, anyways, I'm tired. So we should look at our times for the podcast. Just saying, because I don't know if I will make it to 3:00 in the morning in the new place.
It's only 2:07, but I'm with you.
It'll be 3:00
I'm-
when I'm living
I'm
out
8 to 5
east.
guy now, so I'm with you on that.
Exactly.
All
I'll
right.
be a 9 to 4.
We'll figure it out.
So we did our contacts. We did our shout outs. We talked about the fact you haven't read any emails, so we didn't have any emails to read from our viewers. I think
That is a
we're-
distortion of the truth.
it's all about perception. Perception is reality. All right,
That is
so
incorrect, but okay.
we need a last word.
Nerf this.
Fudge that.
Okay, bye. Hello, mother.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.